Hey action figure fans, it's me Justin, the Action Figure Minute, and today we're shooting another toy. But before we do that, I just wanted to tell you, I switched up my studio a little bit, and by that I mean the equipment. I flipped the camera around so I'm not using the selfie side of the camera anymore, and I'm using the camera I should have been using with the better lenses and better megapixels. So give me some feedback, let me know. Is this looking better? I'd love to hear, because I've got a little monitor now. I figured out how to get my iPad set up so I can see what I'm shooting, and hopefully this works out really well for you, for me, for everybody, for all involved. But today we're looking at a new toy. We are checking out the Patch and Petor from the bizarre world of Naughty and Nice. And these guys, really cool, excited to get these. They launched these originally, I'd say maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years. I can't remember the exact time, but they did not get their minimum order quantities filled for this item. So when Fresh Monkey Fiction was going to get these made, they didn't get enough orders, so they halted production. Now, in walked BigBadToyStore, and they formed with Fresh Monkey Fiction, Big Bad Workshop, and they went ahead full steam ahead with production to get these figures made. Now, in all honesty, I'm not certain why they needed to have a minimum order quantity to get these made. I mean, I guess you probably do with the factory. However, these share the same tooling, other than the head and maybe some accessories, and we'll get into that. So a very little bit of tooling required to make these, because everything is shared on the entire buck and body with their existing Naughty or Nice Santa Claus figures line, Santa Claus and Krampus. So that's where we get these two bodies from. But hey, we've got a big old bio on the back here. Let's go ahead and give this a read. In a misty village nestled between hills, two enchanted brothers, Petor and Patch Pumpkin, carried out their magical Halloween tradition. Patch, the elder, brimmed with playful mischief, while Petor, the younger, radiated kindness and innocence. Together, they were guardians of Halloween, watching over the village children and teaching lessons of virtue and redemption. Patch often teased Petor, testing his patience to ensure his heart stayed pure, while Petor reminded his brother of the power of second chances. At the start of each year, they sent their loyal hauntlings to observe the children, noting their kindness, honesty, and manners. The hauntlings returned nightly to report their findings. As Halloween approached, Petor and Patch prepared their enchanted pumpkins, embarking on their magical journey on All Hallows Eve. For children who were kind and well-behaved, Petor placed pumpkins filled with candy on their doorsteps, a reward for their goodness. Those who were selfish or dishonest received a trick from Patch, an exploding pumpkin, a gentle yet unforgettable reminder to strive for better choices in the year to come. As the seasons turned, villagers lit lanterns to welcome the Pumpkin Brothers, eagerly anticipating their annual visit. For some, it was a moment of excitement. For others, a chance to reflect and improve. Through their whimsical traditions, Petor and Patch reminded the children that Halloween was about more than treats or tricks. It celebrated the choices made throughout the year. Sounds very Santa Claus-ish. So let's go ahead and get these guys opened up here. I'm excited for these. They're big bodies. The sculpts are really well. I know because I'm looking down here at my monitor. This is learning. I know that these are good bodies because they share the Santa Claus bucks again. And I have several of those figures. I don't know. They're off camera. I don't think you can see them over here. You've seen them in past videos. But let's go ahead and get this box opened up. And for those new to the channel, my name's Justin, and I'm an opener. And while we're doing this, this is the best time in the world for you to go and smash that like button. I greatly appreciate it. We're continuing to grow the channel here at Action Figure Minute. So I set everything aside. We get it recycled. We got a nice little backdrop here on display. Very, very spooky, very Halloween-esque. Go ahead and set that aside. And look at everything that's in this package right here. We've got quite a bit of action figure goodness. And let's go through it all. This axe looks super cool. Check myself out on my monitor here. It's got a translucent axe head blade with the tip or the end or the sharp point. There we go. The sharp point of the axe painted a silver, and then the handle of the axe, instead of your traditional wood, it's painted black with a very strong dry brush of green paint over it. So it makes it look very much like the stem or the stalk of a pumpkin. Then we have a book here with all sorts of words on it. Probably very reminiscent to the Naughty or Nice book, but I can't really make out the words that are on here. It looks like lots of names. I mean, I guess this is very similar, Naughty and Nice, just like Santa Claus and how Petor and Patch work. So I'm guessing, what do you think? I'm guessing, did it really even make mention on here? Yeah, it looks like if we're looking at the package, we've got Petor and Patch, and they look the part. Petor, Patch looking like more of an evil guy, you know, using that Krampus style body, and then Petor looks like a happy little dude. So we'll keep their accessories side by side. We've got a lantern. Go ahead and put that in front of my head there so it focuses. There we are. It's got a really nice color towards the inside and a bronze on the outside. Paint job. And we've got tons of pumpkins. Holy moly. It looks like Petor comes with an extra hand. Trying to get this all straight. Thanks for bearing with me. So he's got a hand, and this would be to hold his axe by the looks of it. And then we have several pumpkins. And this is more of a yellow pumpkin, yellowish with green on the outside. So it's neat how you get several different ones. Let's go ahead and get all these yellowish looking ones and the action figure ASMR in full effect. And all of these pumpkins are whole. There's no removable parts, because I think some of them might have some sort of like opening surprise to them. All right. Let's go ahead and get Petor out of the package. Now, Petor, I think, uses the same body, if I'm not mistaken, and there may have been other ones, but there was a Santa Claus, which I may have gotten, but I know I haven't opened yet if I did. There was a lumberjack Santa Claus that comes complete with maple syrups and axes and things like that. But this guy looks really nice. The head matches the small pumpkins I was just holding up. And it's a very, you know, light orange underneath with a green, light green dry brushing on the top. And a very nice green and black flannel. And he's got orange arms that have a light yellow fade to it towards the ends of his arms, and then to his fingers he goes green. Let's see if I can get that. There we go. All right, and he's got blue jeans. They're a very light blue jean in color. Black boots, brown dry brushing on the tops of those. Little buckle action there. And let's go ahead and check out his articulation. Head can do a little bit of up and down, but it's blocked, as you can tell, by his very large pumpkin. We can get his T-pose up like this, high, arm back down. We swivel his arm all the way around. We can swivel his arm all the way around. No cut at the bicep. His elbow, he can spin at the elbow. He's got a single jointed elbow. And then his hands are horizontally hinged. Hips, get splits. Good splits actions on these guys. We have a cut at the hip. Single jointed knee, can kick back there, can also spin. And then we have a front-facing pin with a rocker for his ankle. So a lot of great articulation in here. And I think what we want to do right away is give him this axe. So let's go ahead, take off that hand. Let's swap hands here. I can see now why people do this with the camera, you know, just with their hand on the toys, and they don't look at themselves and they just watch on the screen what they're doing. I kind of resisted wanting to do that, but maybe I'll have to get there because, yeah, again, we're all learning here. So the axe looks really nice. Let's see, it's kind of small for as big of a guy he is. He can kind of two-hand the axe. There we go. All right. I think it's time we get his brother out of the package now. We'll go ahead and set him aside right here. And let's get these pumpkins all out first. Now, I was wrong. I could have swore maybe this was for... Maybe it was for the initial, you know, order that they did for these before BigBadToyStore did the full backing to get these made. But I could have swore these pumpkins opened up with the explosions and the tricks and the treats, but none of them do. So maybe that was hey, you know, we don't want to put that much into manufacturing these and we don't want to lose out on money, so that was maybe something that was cut. All right, we've got a staff right here. And again, it's very much the same coloring as Petor's axe handle with it's painted black underneath and a very heavy green dry brush over the top. There we are. And there's a brown tie at the top. You can remove the crook of this staff, so that way they can use it for other parts, or, you know, probably with Santa, something that their Santa figures have used. I think maybe like the Frost Santa had this same staff. He also just comes with, Patch also just comes with one hand. There we are. One single holding hand so he can hold his staff. And then let's get him out of this packaging as well. He fell over. All right. And I like this guy a bit better. Obvious reasons, you know, bare-chested torso, kind of an evil scowl on his head. His head, there we go. Let's get in closer here for y'all. There we are. I forgot to set up my little light. Let's go do that real quick. Let's go set up my light. Hold on. Well, that made a world of difference, so lesson learned. I forgot my little light that I purchased that can mount to the cold shoe of my camera setup I have here, so that actually makes a ton of difference here in learning my new setup that I have. So, won't do this video over, but we'll figure it out for the future. All right, so much more orange for Patch than Petor. Put them side by side as we're looking at them again under this new lighting for those of you that stayed with me through this jumbled mess. But same articulation. You know, this guy's head goes up and down a little bit. I assume it's because Petor has the collar action. He's got a little bit more going on, so his head can't really go back too much because of the collar on his flannel. Same thing on the front. One thing I didn't know we didn't do, and I always forget to talk about it, is the waist articulation. It is on a ball. So we can wiggle that around. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. All right. Same articulation other than this guy, he does have a bicep cut. And same thing on a torso is on a ball. But otherwise, the body is the exact same. So let's go ahead and swap his hand. Looks like these are both right hand wielding fellas. So can't change that up, unfortunately. That would have been nice to get, holding hands for right and left. That way you can choose if you want what hand you want them to be, holding onto their weapon or their staff or whatever it might be. There we are. So now he is holding his staff. Now, can we take, I bet we can. We could take the lantern and put it on the hook. There we go. That looks good. So that's definitely what we're going to be doing with that, because we don't have another hand for them to hold on to these. Looking down at my camera. Jeez, oh, Pete. I might not have this set up. Maybe I have to set the camera, my monitor up here above the camera. Learning. All right. I really like these guys. They look really cool. They're really fun. Hold on real quick here. I'm going to grab one of my Santas. There we go. Got my Santa here. My zombie Santa from the previous years, from the first time launch of these. That's definitely what I'm going to do. I'm definitely putting the monitor up rather than down. But these are great quality figures. I highly recommend them. Every single one that I've opened so far, I've been very happy with these Fresh Monkey Fiction Big Bad Workshop figures. I like to see the line continue. I know I did get one of the reindeer. I can't remember which one. Hopefully I'll find it around Christmas time so I can open it up during the month of December. But again, I definitely do recommend these figures. I'm going to leave it at that. I know I've done a ton of babbling here trying to figure out this new setup. I'd reshoot it all, but I don't got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Guys, thanks for checking out the channel. I greatly appreciate you continuing to grow. Peace.